they should be fined because LeBron James has been the king of this over the years. And it's so funny because the NBA goes after the Nets. They go after other teams. Why don't they go after the LA Lakers? Because Anthony Davis has been doing it for the last couple of years. So is LeBron James. Why isn't the top players in the league getting punished for that? Is it because Lakers are the kings of the NBA? Because of Shaquille O'Neal and Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kobe Bryant? Or maybe LeBron James? Because LeBron James is the king, as he comes out and says all the time, that he's the greatest basketball player to ever live. No, you know what they're going to go after? The lonely Brooklyn Nets. Let's go after the lonely and little Jacques Vaughn. He was a terrible basketball player, decent coach. He wasn't very successful in Orlando as he gets fired. He gets this job pretty much on a whim because somebody wanted somebody fired because the Brooklyn Nets stink. And of course, the NBA goes after a team that's not any good. They're not supposed to make the playoffs this year in the Eastern Conference. They got a couple of good players. It looks like they have found a player in Cam Thomas. He looks like he's a nice player. We all know what Mikal Bridges has turned out to be. Nobody's heard of Ben Simmons. Maybe he's lost in a toilet over there in Brooklyn.
I think he's
Who
like
knows?
the 10th highest scorer on the team.
Maybe he's hanging out with one of the Kardashians again. Who knows? This organization is being attacked by Joe Dumars because it's an organization that doesn't mean anything to the NBA. They're not the Knicks. Would you see Joe Dumars doing this to the New York Knicks if they decided to sit out Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle? No, because the New York Knicks are a moneymaker. The Knicks bring in money throughout the league as they sell out every single game, no matter win, lose, or draw. They stink. They still sell out. Taylor Swift's a Knicks fan. All the Swifties want to see Taylor, not the Knicks. They want to see her out cheering for the New York Knicks, wearing her New York Knicks jersey, wearing her nice short dresses. I object the NBA. I object Joe Dumars for doing it to an organization and a team that means nothing. If you want to make a statement, go after the Golden State Warriors and Steve Kerr over the years. Go after LeBron James or LeBreakers. The NBA loves to do this. David Stern, when he was there, and he was alive and running the organization. Do you remember the Lakers made a trade for Chris Paul? And David Stern made sure that he vetoed it. Because if Chris Paul went to the Lakers and played with Kobe Bryant, they would have won multiple championships. And this would be another avenue for the Lakers to win and cheat the NBA. And David Stern was all about the NBA and making sure that this was building internationally. Ever since Adam Silver took over for the league, he's let the league get tortured by the players. He has let the league get run by the players. And he says, if it wasn't for the players, we wouldn't have a league. I would say that about every single league. Why isn't all the other leagues is allowing the players to take over the league? Because Adam Silver is a baby. An insult when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets. You're going to say because it had something to do with sports betting and sports books. That's what Joe Dumars is going to come out with and say, we're going to fine the Brooklyn Nets and say that they violated the NBA player participation policy because they're not playing their players. First of all, who did they play? Did it make a difference if they started any of those players?
Maybe for covering the spread, but besides that, I don't know.
They had nothing to do with the spread. The Nets right now are a horrible organization. They're not winning anything. This has nothing to do with the spread. And for Joe Dumars to think that that's true, why don't you look at the NBA as a whole? If you have so much say on what's going on in the NBA, why don't you investigate Adam Silver? Investigate the other teams, the big name teams with the big players, the kings of the NBA making billions and billions of dollars, instead of going after a young team that really means nothing to the NBA. It has nothing to do with the spread. Now, does it hurt the spread to bet against the Brooklyn Nets? Absolutely. If they're not playing their players, they're obviously going to lose, and they're going to be under the spread. They're trying to drop the hammer on somebody to prove a point and make sure that other teams aren't going to do it anymore. But why do it to a lonely team like the Nets that have nothing to stand for this year? They're not standing for a championship. They're not even going to make the play-in game, and they have nothing to build around. Why would Donovan Mitchell want to go and play there? All of a sudden, it's going to say, I want to go play with the Brooklyn Nets when I could go play for the Knicks or the Miami Heat. That's not going to happen. What the Mavericks did last year screwed the Knicks on a draft pick. Because if the Mavericks actually played to win that game, the Knicks get their draft pick. But because the Mavericks decided to lose and sit out players, the Knicks didn't get their draft pick. They didn't have one draft pick last year, and they're still sitting on their pie holes waiting to get one of those picks, which are all protected by the teams that they traded with.
Two more are protected this year, and one of them is the Pistons, so they're probably not getting that pick either.
They're definitely not getting that pick.